Good morning. I wanted to talk a little bit about Peace, the RPG. My background here is this game written by Robert over at Confessions of a Frustrated Game Master here on YouTube. Years ago, he invited Ivan, Mike, 1968, and I to playtest his game, and that was fantastic. We had to break that session into two different sessions. We had a fantastic time. It was one of the few times Ivan and I got to be side by side at the table and play. And Robert did a fantastic job demonstrating his game to us and play testing it. We had a great time. I believe those, I'm not certain we recorded those. I don't think we did. But either way, it was a great play test. And this has been a labor of love for Robert as he spent a long time, and he talks eloquently about not only his game but about the process and about some of the features of this game. So I'm not going to review it because I haven't GM'd it and I haven't played it but the one time, and that was a couple of years ago. But I am going to make a character in this soon. But I thought I'd just go through the basic edition that's available. This is available free via his Facebook.com connection, and I think you might be able to find it linked in a couple of his videos in which he talks about it. This is the basic edition. Again, you can see Robert, the narrator, basically did just about everything except editing, additional writing, and art. Of course, he has multiple people, which is very cool. And congratulations, Robert, on getting this baby to this place. It's really, truly fantastic. And it's 281-page basic book, so that's remarkable. I think he said his core full book will be close to 400 and something pages, so it is modern in all of its glory. Our book will be about 12 pages, our game that Dell and I are currently writing. Fantastic. World of Peace sets up the whole nature of the world you're going to be foraying in, and then, of course, character creation, which is fantastic. And I want you to look at the steps, right, in our character creation. This is a 10-step process that appears to be 122 pages. So no doubt much of this basic book is character generation. That is a remarkable thing to see right here, right? I would almost call this the player's handbook. If you were to publish these as a hardback set of books, this might well be, with maybe stripping out some pieces, like the Gamemaster pieces, this could be the player's handbook. Fantastic, but this gives you an idea of how much is going on. And it's not complicated so much as it's just detailed, and we have plenty of choices. Adventure, of course, how the game plays, and then, of course, the master for the guy running it. This is truly innovative. The prophecy meter, and again, innovative to me is I've not played every game out there. There may be something like this in other games, but the prophecy meter is very cool. As is the there's another innovative feature he's using, and you'll have to forgive me, right off the top of my head, I've forgotten it. But the prophecy meter is very, very cool, as this affects the darkness of the world, right? The world can be in a positive way, or the world can be growing darker, so to speak. But the prophecy, it's based on the prophecy, and the prophecy is the world. Peace will come when basically the war is over. But that means, there has to be an end of everything, so to speak. So it's very, very interesting. The prophecy meter will direct that, whether the world is. And then that prophecy meter actually has a mechanical effect upon the math, upon the game, which is very cool. Bestiary, hero sheet. Let's click on that, and I want you to look at how great this is. Prophecy meter, boom. I mean, we can click a button and we're in it. This is just fantastic work, Robert. So good. So here's our prophecy meter. And it's usually on a scale, I believe, on the die 6. It affects the, 2 die 6, right? And that math affects the game, right? Good deeds will affect the meter, right? Which is pretty cool. The meter can go up or down based on whether we're doing good deeds or evil deeds. The world is in a way affected by the play of the players over the course of the adventures, which is a very, very cool. And again, I was talking to a runeslinger, Anthony, about this a while back, about the lack of innovation in games. We see games that are just copycatting or regurgitation of the originals, etc., etc. And there are times where we'll see, given time and given effort and imaginative quality work, and you start to see innovation. This prophecy meter, to me, is the most innovative thing I've seen personally in tabletop role playing of late, at least in the last 5 or 6 years. The prophecy meter. So again, and play tested thoroughly. I think it took Robert from his flash of genius. It took him 14 years to get this far. So this was by no means a rushed out process. The effects of the prophecy meter, and he tells this very well here, right? So just so good. And then of course we have tables and charts, which I personally dig when we're dealing with this stuff too. Intense, uncertain, and dire. So cool how it affects game. Player rewards, NPCs, descriptions. And this is the other thing Robert does well in his book. He provides these clean, crisp charts that break everything down. And let me go back to player creation, because this is a great example. There's our hero sheet every day. So let's get back to the top. And again, I got to tell you, there's nothing like being able to click a button and go right where you want to go. So let's say, let's take a look at race and creed. So again, everything is clean. He gives you charts so you understand. You cleanly can see it. And I like the charts are laid out in blocks so we can clearly see everything. It's very clean, very crisp, well written. But again, you can see, for instance, these are our races, right? Human is what I always play in these games, as I don't know how to act like an elf. I'd be a human acting like an elf, so I'm always playing a human personally. But you can see what the numerical value means. So here's our attributes, right? Natural ratings, right? These are your attributes that start. Then you can spend points later to improve these, which is such a brilliant thing. So you can see humans are 3 all the way down the line, right? But let's say later I want to put in, I think when you start, you can only spend a max of 3 points. You have 16 points to add to these. You can only start with 3 max. So I could start with a perception of 6 points. I could start with a strength of 6, survival of 6, and then start breaking it down into 1s, 2s, and 0s. But so good how he gives these charts like this. I love this. It's just so well done. So here we can see, for instance, the elf, right? And first level elf racial abilities, right? So we get the breakdown here of abilities. This is fairly common in as race charts go in games. And then we get the human, and again the breakdown of their racial traits. This only goes to level 3, I believe. I think it does go higher level in his core book, but in this it's 3 levels, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So I will be making a character later in the week. When I have time, I will be doing one of these walkthroughs, and I will actually make a character here, screen capture, so you can see clearly what I'm doing and what I'm writing down. Attributes again. So let's see here. These are your difficulty levels when you do a check, 2d6 check, adding your target number. So that's pretty cool, right? Near impossible, need 22, which means you're going to need a 10-point attribute to affect a 2d6 roll. And that's pretty cool. Now, granted, again, I'm jumping around here. I'm not covering the rules thoroughly, so do not take that as the gospel on that. But it gives you an idea, right? 2d6. So challenging with just 2d6 at 12 is more than challenging. It's pretty tough, right? But every day target number. Now again, remember you're going to add your attribute to that die roll, and I think you may add your warrior's die. Your oh my gosh, what is it called? Because before you do anything, you select whether you are your vocation, warrior, adventurer, or adept, and I think you get to add your die plus to those rolls too. So the warrior gets to add his 1d6 plus 2, or right. But again, I will put a link to Robert's channel where he talks in detail about his game, and of course eloquently, as it is his game. But see, here we go. For instance, if I was a human warrior and I chose warfare, I would get 2 points, and then per plus 1 is what it costs me to purchase plus the die, which starts at 1d6, and I can purchase pluses. And I won't advance to a second die until I'm at plus 4, right? I would go plus 1, 2, 3, then at 4, instead of a plus 4, you jump to a 2d6, right? And you can see what it costs me to buy those points if I am a human warrior, right? Look how expensive power is. Power is basically for magic or supernatural abilities. So a human warrior, it would be very expensive for me to purchase supernatural talents, so to speak, influence. And then again, you can see the adept is clearly less of a warrior, as it's very expensive to purchase martial abilities, and a little cheaper to purchase supernatural talents. And then the adventure is a mix of the two, which is a fantastic idea. So again, and charts, right, which keep everything very easy to read and very easy to follow, which I just love. So for instance, our attack stats, let's say I'm a warrior with warfare 1d6 plus 2. I would jot in here my defense score, right? My willpower, my resistance rating would be jotted on the character sheet, right? Which is, again, very clean way to make the game. And then you'd write down your 3 attributes. Let's go, matter of fact, let's go show you what that looks like here. Character sheet. Where's the character sheet? I've lost the character sheet. Hero sheet. Right, so here you go, 1d6 plus, right? I purchase, let's say, I spend 6 of my points, and I make this a plus 2. So 1d6 plus 2, right? Battle scars. This is the other thing related very much to, again, innovative as far as the prophecy and battle scars. I was trying to think what it was. Battle scars. Battle scars are like bennies, but they can be good or bad because you spend them. It can create a random event that's not actually necessarily good, which is very cool. So anyway, battle scars is the other idea that I really dig here in Robert's game. Okay. And again, you can see your weapons go here, damage, etc. And again, remember your natural score if you're trained, and then your total. And trained is how many points. Again, you get 16 points to drop in here. You cannot be higher than 3 to start out. So let's say again I'm 3 plus I put 3 in perception. I would have a 6, and that 6 would influence those. Would be added to that 2d6 check to beat those difficulty numbers, right? So anyway, very cool. And I want you to look at the sheet. The front page of the sheet is very clean, very small. We've got a lot of information, but it's so well organized. When you think about it, right? Very simple. Attack points. This I'm not certain yet. We dealt with attack points in the game with Ivan. We had to decide how many of our points we could spend to do a particular thing, which is very cool. But I can't recall those in detail. So again, until I have a chance to read through the book thoroughly, I won't be able to remember exactly how that works. But anyway, you can see how it's simple, but there's a ton of information on one sheet of paper, but still clean, neat, and well organized. And then, of course, on the back side of that, you're going to see your equipment, magic items, background, etc., which is cool. The GM screen, look at this. So our GM screen, fantastic. I mean, again, nice and clean. It helps a lot here. Every day there's your target numbers. Here's your NPC's attitudes, which is great. Detect magic chart, which is nice. Breakdowns, right? Influence attack table. Hero damage. Now, again, we're talking about actually negotiating, right? We're calling it influence attack, but that's pretty cool, right? It's like intimidation or bargaining. The hero damage chart. APC damage chart, and the hero versus hero damage chart. That's very terrifying. The idea that hopefully this is not player versus player stuff here. PvP. I'm not a fan of PvP. I don't think so. It's probably enemy heroes, right? Conditions. We got exhausted, hindered, insubstantial, invisible. prone, restrained, stunned, and surprised. We have techniques: disarm, focused, grab, initiative, surge, refocus, and trip. That's very cool. Partial darkness, partial cover. So again, everything right in front of us. The core rulebook content: basic has these three races plus human, of course. I mean, human is one of the three. And then these are your adept vocations, I believe, right? And then again, adventure. So you can see the core book has a little more to it. And then, of course, is levels 1 to 10, levels 1 to 3, right? And that's narrator games. So cool, Robert. And again, I am going to make a character live in the next couple of days, but I wanted to at least talk about this as I am impressed with this work. And I'm proud to say I was a part of this playtest. Thank you, Robert, for inviting Ivan and I into that a few years ago. And I look forward to at some point running this as well as playing in this. So it's gonna be great fun. I'm a basic guy. I actually like basic books. I prefer low-level gaming. I prefer keeping it focused and simple. So basic is always the first thing I buy, and it's usually what I stick to in my gaming. No matter how long I play a game, I rarely go into the advanced or the high-level stuff. It's just not where my magic is. It's not where my happiness is in gaming. But as Robert defines this too, this is high fantasy gaming. This is not low level dirt muck. However, there is a prophecy, and it is a level of darkness. But it's a high fantasy game, which is fine, right? So anyway, just want to share that. All right, thank you, and thanks again, Robert, for the copy of the PDF, and thank you, sir, for involving me. I do appreciate it. Everybody out there, have a fantastic day.